everyone. Welcome to Real Estate with Ryan. Hope you're doing well. And guess what? No more snow. It's great to be in the studio. Guys are not only glad to get out of the house, be away from all that snow, but then the kiddos are back in school. I mean, I don't know about you, but around our house, some of our employees and their kids, they were ready. It was past that time. I don't know what you guys think, but we love the snow when it comes. But this time of year, we're ready for it to go. So the rain was a pleasant surprise. Hope all you're doing are wonderful, having a great weekend. Thank you for tuning in to Real Estate with Ryan. Always fun to be with you. We got a great show for you today. Talking real estate, of course. That's what we're going to talk about. And we're talking about the season upon us. Got the spring market coming. It's like within weeks. It's hard to believe it. Not officially, but it's within weeks. It's in countdown mode. And so we got a good show talking about it. Today, we're talking about the surprising trend on the amount of number of homes going on the market. So it's a surprising trend in the marketplace with the amount of inventory coming on the market in the first January of 2024. We're talking about that and so much more. Real Estate with Ryan, live in the studios. Hope you're doing well again. If you're tuning in for the first time, we'd like to thank you for tuning in to Real Estate with Ryan. And if you're saying, hey, who's that guy on the radio? What is he talking about? Well, my name is Ryan Coleman with Hometown Realty, and we do this little show. It's called Real Estate with Ryan every weekend on Saturday. You can catch us on News Talk 98.7 at 1 or Talk Radio 92.3 FM. Or maybe you're out there in social media land and you catch us out there on one of the many platforms. We're always there for you. And, of course, iTunes, Spotify, and Google, we're there. And so we do this show. We love it. Been doing it for going on 8 years. And it's always been a blessing to be on the radio with you guys. Just met a great client of ours and kind of how our marketing works and just kind of how life works when you're consistent on things. Great listing that's in excess of $2 million. And she said, Ryan, I've listened to you for years and listened to you and you always stood out to me and you've always done a good job. And I said, well, that's the best compliment that we could ever have. And it's all you guys, man, listen to it. You got a lot of choices to listen to. And I know you maybe pop in, pop out, but we appreciate you so much. And we try to have fun on the show too. Try not to be boring. Real estate's real estate. We can talk about topics, but there's so much to talk about. And our business and you guys as well, being business owners or if you're not business owners, running your family, that's a small business itself. Keeping the kiddos and the family sane is, it's all about people and relationships. And we love the opportunity to help you in that journey as we approach 2024 and this wild real estate year that I'm expecting. So let's talk about some congrats before we get going in the show. We always got some congrats, but I got to get a special double shout out to my man, Mr. Carson. We just helped him go under contract. We sold his house in Knoxville not long ago, been about 6 months ago. And we found him a condo, got him under contract, and it is official. He is going to be a new condo owner. And so super, super happy for him. A great senior that we've been working with. It's taken several months, but he knows what he wants. And he's been a great pleasure to work with and fun. And so we were so rooting for him. My team was as well. So super shout outs, Mr. Carson. New condo. Got the Beaches, got a new property that's come in, excess over 17 acres out in Jeff County. Congrats on that new purchase agreement there. We're so proud of you guys. Bingham Island, new listing coming in Sevierville. Keep track of that. New listing out in 5120 Luttrell Road. May have not seen it with all the snow and everything going on. Make sure you check that out. It's a remodel over an acre of land, and it's definitely a must-see. All right, we got 1112 West Madison Drive. Beautiful cabin out in Sevierville. Make sure you check that property out. It's on 2 acres. Newbert Drive, Knoxville. Make sure you check that property out. Great 3-bedroom home, 2-car garage. It won't be here long. It just hit the market with the snow. Should have already been gone. Make sure you check that out on our website. 103 Brookview Drive. Great other new property listed. 201 Wolfberger Road. And then we've got a property that's coming soon on Edwards Drive out in Sevierville. 1833 Edwards Drive in Sevierville. Make sure you check that property out. Great floor plan. Big bonus room above the garage. Wattle Blossom Active out in Gatlinburg. Great property. Investment property. Mountain views. You want to check that out. and so much more. We've got some new listings, but we're running out of space here. If this kind of goes into flow with our show, a new listing over in North Shore Road, right on the main there, a nice property with some acreage in West Knoxville. Make sure you check that property out. New lot in Tennessee National and Persimmon Ridge. Check that property. And another investment cash flow cabin coming out in Carson's Ridge Way. So make sure you check that out. As well, and so much more. And I forgot to tell you guys, got 8 acres coming out in Maryville, so make sure you check that property out. All that and so much more. We've been busy. And you say, Ryan, you've been busy for January. It really has been busy. And so I thought that we were talking about today would only be appropriate is that we're seeing that inventory as a whole has increased. So the real estate market is always changing. And I think this year, like none other, we talk about election years, it's always going to be dynamic, to say the best. Really don't know what we're going to get. But we know the real estate market is, whether you're what side of the aisle you're on or if you're independent, it doesn't really matter. What matters is hopefully what everybody should be thinking about, what's best for the country and us and our housing market and our jobs and employment and cutting inflation, so many different things like that. It was always usually when there's a big election, presidential, of course, hopefully they keep things stable. And so the feds have showed us that we're going to have probably up to 6 rate hikes. I'm sorry, rate decreases. See, I'm already programmed. Last couple of years, we're talking about raising rates. Now it's strange that we're talking about lowering rates. But that's a good sign. And that's what's indicating in the marketplace that we're moving forward this year. And a surprising trend, a number of homes coming on the market. Now, you just saw me go over a little montage, how our little office of what we're able to do in just a short period of time. We stay busy. And so if you're thinking about moving, it's important to know that the housing market is here for an update. And currently, what's homes for sale? So whether you're buying or selling, the number of homes in your area is really something you should pay attention to. We all know that the more homes on the market means more choices. Less homes on the market has come back from the last couple of years we've been on, where they get bidding wars and there's multiple people bidding for the same property. It's never a great advantage for the buyers, but it's great for the sellers. But we piggyback on that and say, well, sometimes it's great for the sellers, but that opportunity is sellers are buyers in today's market, right? And we'll talk a little bit more about that, of how many people that have pulled out of the housing market because they didn't want to leave for the 3 to 4% interest rate and they couldn't find anything. So in the housing market, there's regular patterns that happen every day, and it's really called seasonality. Spring is the peak of the home buying season. It's also when the most homes are typically listed. So coming into the market, the industry is known for new listings. In the second half of each year, the number of new listings typically decreases as the pace and sales slow down. It's usually with the winter months and kiddos go back to school, and we see those graphs. So we've got a graph here given to us by Realtor.com. It provides a visual seasonality and shows the market. But what I'll demonstrate on this line, on this black line that shows which normally is dotted and would go down during the months of August, September, October, and November, that market has seen dramatically increase. Our numbers in the Knoxville housing market was just a little over 4,000 homes in the market. I think that fell this week to about 3,900 homes in the market, 3,999, something like that. So we are under the 4,000 homes market. These years between 17 and 19 were typically on the housing market were normal seasonal trends, kind of what you're always seeing. But in 2020, that data broke from the normal trend. The big drop in 2020, one of the graphs here, the orange line, shows that when the pandemic hit, sellers paused their plans in the 2021, of course, to 22. That normal trend was still on abnormal ways. This year, though, guys, the black line is truly unique. It steps off into new listings and usually occurring, but hasn't happened in some time. So new listings are stabilizing, and even more new listings are coming to the market compared to this year. What does it mean for you guys? What does it mean for buyers? It means new listings are stabilizing. It's a positive sign. It means you got more steady stream of options coming into the marketplace, more choices for your next home than you would have last year. It opens up possibilities. For sellers, this new listings is breaking seasonal grounds. Inventory is low, but you've got opportunities pre-pandemic that would have an opportunity to put your home on the market. And now if you're downsizing or to find the right property that you're looking for, you may be able to find it. It's also knowing that even though we're lower inventory, that going up dramatically, that the prices are not headed for a crash. So all those things are positive for 2024. So, buyers will actually have an opportunity to get out in front of the property and see it and actually make an offer. Look, we're coming up on a break here in just a short minute. We're talking about real estate. We're talking about so much more here in the next 9 minutes of the show. Make sure you stay with us. Real Estate with Ryan coming back at you in the second half in just a few moments.
There's no place like home, and this basketball house is special. The great games, players, championships, it's a true home court advantage.
I'm Ryan Coleman. Both basketball and real estate take great drive and determination. Whether you're in the market to buy or sell a home,
let Hometown Realty give you the home court advantage.
Hometown Realty is East Tennessee's #1 real estate group and a proud sponsor of the Vols.
I'm Ryan Coleman with Hometown Realty. The real estate market's changing every day. You need to know your home's value in today's market. Text your home address to 290-2290 for an instant, no-obligation home evaluation. That's 865-290-2290. And remember, when you're ready to sell, we have a guaranteed sale program to get you in your next home stress-free. Trust your hometown experts. We've helped thousands of people just like you. All right, we're back at it, the second half, Real Estate with Ryan. I get to talking on these shows, and it's hard to hit these breaks. Come right out of the break, 3, 2, 1, countdown. It's like, okay. It's tough, guys, man. We're trying to make it on. Got to pay the bills. Got to have the commercials in there. Got to have everything out there. So, we're talking about what is new inventory. What are we seeing in our market, in the housing market? And what we're seeing is new inventory is hitting the market. Hey, if you're thinking about buying or selling this year, I don't think this year means that we're going to put it off till normal spring, April, May. Don't think it's going to happen. I think you're seeing, and what we kind of went over on our show here just a few moments ago, we're seeing buyers and sellers pick up the pace in the first quarter of the year. I think January and February, when we're done, all the numbers are going to be record-setting years over the last couple of years. Why? It's election year. Number two, rates were last year one of those kind of things where you kind of watch the market, kind of wanted to see what's going on. One of the biggest things in the real estate market or anything that you're going to buy, any kind of larger ticket item, the market's always going to flow, right, on what a buyer and seller are going to determine on pricing. That's what a home is worth, or anything's worth, right, guys? It's what a buyer and seller are willing to agree, what a buyer is willing to pay ultimately. And so one of the challenges of what we had last year, and we're kind of looking at the end of the year numbers, is that 2023 was challenging on many fronts, right? So we had issues with inflation. We had credit card debt that was up, the gas pump. We've got all these different things. And as real estate progressed, it started wearing on some things, especially go to higher end properties. I've got some great clients that were listing a bunch of stuff above $1 million, right? And so last year, when it's 8%, if you're borrowing any money at all, that's not necessarily attractive for buyers. And so therefore, sellers, some of that inventory was put on hold last year. And we're seeing some of that move to the forefront in the beginning part of the year. As we're coming from the break on the previous show, what does it mean for the sellers on that extra inventory? And kind of piggyback on that. I think it really means that moving forward in the beginning part of this year, more than normal. And I know with the weather, we've had a lot of challenges, so that our January was really, really hopping, and then we got a pause. But I would urge you guys that if you're thinking about selling this year, have us out to the property. Give us a call. You want to do that because now than later. I met with a couple in Maryville today, actually it was yesterday, and we had a great conversation. They're relocating. They're not going to be out for several months. But they had a conversation of, Ryan, should we put siding on the home? Should we do this over to the garage? Should we maybe enclose this? What's your thought? What's the return on investment? And those are great questions. She was very prepared. And I think that, she had a conversation we started talking about was, well, Ryan, I had somebody else that I knew was relocating, and he said he was going to do something in 4 or 5 months, and they hadn't even thought about it. Not yet even had a realtor to even think to speak to, but to come out to the property. And she just thought that was a little bit different. But it's such a big move in today's market. Do you keep the home that you're in? Do we make it a rental property? Do we do these things, or would it even make sense? And some of the conversations that we had really just kind of fell in line where it really didn't make sense, that there was no kind of bang for the buck, if that would make sense. So if we spent $15,000, would we get $15,000 back in return? And so all those things kind of come into play. And then timing as well. Real estate is always about timing. Do we buy at the right time? It's a great opportunity. Sell at the wrong time? There could be some pain. And so all those things kind of come into play. And, what we're seeing is that the inventory tick up is a sign for more people to come in the marketplace. And I think it's great for buyers and sellers. And why is that the most important? And one of the biggest things that I think that what we'll see is because now people have choices. People have choices. Buyers feel that not only can they put their home on the market, they can actually go out there and have some inventory to look at that's reasonable. Sellers are reasonable to a certain degree and have an opportunity to make it work. We're seeing more contingent sales, meaning they have a home to sell and another one to buy. But, that domino effect where we put this home on the market and then we have to buy that one, combination of, financing, cash, or, you do the old fashioned way where you sell that one, go under contract and, buy the next one. Lots of different opportunities out there. But it kind of explaining on this low housing inventory, and I had a great chart that I thought I'd love to share with you guys, was our low housing inventory in that homeowners are staying in their home 9 years longer. The average homeowner is staying between 2010 and 2022. Their tenure was 9.3 years. Going back between 1985 and 2009, the average tenure was 6.1 years. And kind of going back to what we're seeing in the marketplace now and kind of why this built up was here and why maybe 23 was maybe not exactly what you wanted to see, was that current FHA loans or mortgage that are originated, 70% of those rates were below 40%. Sorry, 4%. 40 would be tough, right? 4%. So 26% were below 3%. And then between 3 and 4% were 44.7%. So of the loans that were originated out there, less than, 3/4 of them are under 4%. So that kind of relates, right, guys? Why some inventory and why we're seeing shortage in the marketplace. A lot of people did not want to get rid of those 3 or 4% interest rates. Homeowners didn't want to move to a higher mortgage, especially at 8%, 9%, and then to leave their 3 or 4%. So a lot of people were just saying, hey, we're going to put it on hold, Ryan. We're just not going to do it. And I think that that's what we're seeing as a whole. And what you're seeing this year, which I expect rates between 5.5 and low 6s. Really, that's my, I said it right here, January, end of January. I expect rates to be 5.5 to low 6s. And I think the marketplace will explode and be very, people that have a 4 or 3 or 4% mortgage rate, I think, a point or two difference will probably not sway them one way or another into making a move. One of the conversations we had with a great client today was, don't underestimate the baby boomer generation or our seniors that are moving as well, that are moving closer to grandbabies. I think it's so important that so many of our people, regardless of the market, being close to those grandbabies or new grandbabies that are being, that are born or they're in different areas. And so a lot of people that we have, I can't tell you how many people that have come up to that. And so they're moving one way or another. And if you're a good husband, you're packing your bags and going, yes, ma'am, we're on our way. Let the real estate agents take the fear out of it. I think the last part of the show, we talk about this year. One of the biggest things that you can do in today's market is get with a great agent. We do this show. So hopefully, if you ever need us, we're here for a call. But an agent in today's marketplace that knows the market takes the negative news and the fear out of it. I know you see a lot of stuff on social media in the housing market. And today, you've probably even seen things that have maybe scared you. It makes you even wonder, should you buy or sell a home now? Regrettably, the news media isn't easy to understand. Is that true or what? And so understanding today's market, one of the biggest things you can do is have an agent that combats uncertainty and fear with historical, perceptive, and timing and facts, right? The right agent is going to help you figure out what's going on a national level and more specifically in our East Tennessee housing market. You know, buying or selling home is a big investment, and sometimes it's scary with a lot of things going on, especially, you know, life-changing events, divorce, different things like that. We've got to walk through that, and that's challenging as it is. But then now we're selling in an election year, interest rates, we got job scares. And so there's a lot going on. When you get with a great agent, they're going to help you take a lot of the emotion and drama through that process. You know, you can do it yourself, like a lot of many things that you can do in life yourself. But I'm always a firm believer over here at Hometown Realty, you're always going to do it better with teamwork. Teamwork is the key in this market. Having someone to know exactly the numbers, what's going on. And when you're doing a high volume of business, you can kind of really see what's going on in the marketplace. So that information, I think you heard one of our testimonials, is that keeping you updated throughout the transaction, letting you know real time what's going on when you're buying or selling a house is just so important. And it helps when you have great communication from out start to finish. Guess what? It makes a smoother transition. Hopefully be like my great friend Charles Carlson, that even though we started out, it's been 6 months, didn't find the end right property in the beginning. He didn't settle, hopefully found that right one. And that's what we want to do for you guys. We want a happy ending. And remember at Hometown Realty, it's never about sales. It's about helping people and creating relationships. So I really appreciate y'all listening to the show today. If you need me for anything, number is 693-SOLD, or you can check me at ryancoleman.org. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next weekend.